What's up, YouTube? It's your girl April coming in with another video, and today I wanted to come on in here and just kind of talk about some of the pointers that are in my previous video. This is a continuation of my story, me telling my story about my baby daddy is married. I just wanted to kind of talk on the house situation when I said that the house was an abandoned house. Pretty much he told me that he brought this house. It was a tax lien house, and lien houses are you pretty much pay, you know, a low amount for the house, and after a while, I guess if the owners don't claim it, then it can be your house. Just kind of wanted to touch on that. Push came to shove, him and his daughter end up having to live in the house because I guess they had drama over there where he was living at with his wife and his family, and him and his daughter end up having to go live in the house. He also stated that his wife laughed at him for buying the house. And when I talk about the house being an abandoned house, you know, I'm talking about it was unoccupied, which to me is abandoned. You know what I'm saying? When you really think about it, when I say we end up, you know, moving up here to Georgia, living in the house for about a month, he had done turned the lights on, of course, and turned the water on. So it was definitely like lights and water in the house. However, it was still not something that I was used to living in. And it, like I said, it was just terrible. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that because, you know, for some people that's just listening to my story, they'll be like, you know, well, why would you move into an abandoned house? Well, like I said on the video, he didn't really show me the house and how it really looked it. But anyways, I end up coming on up here, me and my kids, and living in the house for a month. And he also stated that he lived there for 2 months. I think I said that in one of my previous videos. My baby is banging on the door. Okay, 1 minute, y'all. Oh my God. Yes, Samaj. I told you that you got to take your nap. And you done got up off your pallet. And now you over here banging on this door. Now I'm back. So I was saying that he said that he had to live in the house for a few months because apparently he asked his wife, can he come back home to stay? And she told him no. And, you know, he also told me that he asked his wife, can he come home to do his laundry? And she told him no. So, and also he said that she, you know, didn't care if they ate what they ate. You know what I'm saying? If he, you know, he said him and his daughter was hungry, they needed food and all this and all that. And pretty much his wife turned his back on him in a time that he was going through a challenging time. And so, you know, I'm just, like I said, I'm just telling my story. Unfortunately, people got a chapter in my book that I never thought will have a chapter in my book, you know, but this is my story and I'm just going to share it. You know, the purpose of me definitely sharing my story is to, you know, of course, heal for myself and to also be courageous enough to share my story because life is just life for real. And I had to take, you know, build up the courage to really share my story, you know, and know that my story is not the worst. And it's so many people go through so much different stuff than I do and I did, and they are bold enough and courageous enough to tell their story. So I really struggled, you know, telling this story because I didn't want this to be my story. Like my intentions was to never go after nobody's husband. I wasn't trying to just break up nobody's home. Like I was living my life, you know, minding my own business. I also wanted to touch on I didn't need him for anything, to be honest with you. Samaj, okay, I let you in here. What do you want? Huh? Okay, you're gonna have to relax. I'm trying to talk. Okay? You want to lay down? Relax. Take a nap. No, I'm talking. Stop. What I said? Did I say stop? No. So, I didn't need him for anything. If I would have been patient, eventually my lease was going to be up in July. Like I said, we moved out in May. So eventually my lease would have been up in July. I would have survived if he wouldn't have never called me. And if, like, you know, going through some of the trials and tribulations that I experienced or was going through, I wouldn't have never reached out to him for help. I wouldn't have never called him, thought of him, or even considered him to be a person that I would ask for help. You know, like I said, it was unexpected that he pretty much called me, you know, and I was going through something at that time, and he was going through something at that time. If I would have been patient, my lease would have been up, and if I would have decided to move myself back to Georgia, trust and believe I would have been able to do that on my own. I relocated myself to and from Georgia by myself without the help of a man. So just want to be clear about that. And eventually my tax money was going to come, and I was going to get another car, you know. So when I'm telling my story, yes, I was going through a trying time, but I did not reach out to anyone's husband to help me. You understand? And another thing, if he would never had his daughter that was special needs, I wouldn't have helped him either. I helped him a lot of the, you know, a lot of my compassion came from me, you know, just feeling bad for him and his daughter in that situation. If he was just a standalone man that came to me with that situation and with that issues, I wouldn't have helped him. But the fact that he had his daughter, and you know how he was speaking on how he needed help and how they was living, they living situation and things like that. Yeah, I did have some form of compassion for them. You know, so like I said, I just wanted to come in here and touch on some of the pointers of my video, because when I do go back and listen to my video, I know that people are going to have questions like, well, why would you, you know, move into an abandoned house based on, you know, when I showed how my house looked, at, I really didn't have a reason to move. Even though I said I was living in a bad neighborhood, even though I said that my car was going to be repoed, you know, I did have family that was in the surrounding areas, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I would have just scraped in without anyone to help me or take me to the grocery store or, you know, things of that nature. Like, it wouldn't have been like I wouldn't have had nobody. If I would have decided to stay in Florida and live in my house that I was in and go through my struggle of my car being repoed and my income tax money not coming on time, I would have still survived. You get what I'm saying? However, like I said, it was the summer. I wasn't in a good neighborhood. And the opportunity came for me to pretty much get out of that neighborhood. And the fact that my voucher was going to be up in July, I had my own backup plan. Like, I wasn't coming up here solely dependent on what he said and what he was going to do. You get what I'm saying? However, it did eventually turn into that because, like, okay, if I would have, you know, when I came up here, like I said, it was summer. So May, June. In July, my lease was up. So I could have transferred my voucher to Georgia. If I would have considered moving to Texas with him, I could have transferred my voucher to Texas. So I was going to have a backup plan. Even if things would never worked out with us at that point in time, I was going to have a backup plan. And it was going to be the fact that I was going to have my own voucher and I was going to have a place to stay for me and my kids. And like I said, my tax money, it was delayed, but it still came. So eventually I was going to get a car, whether I lived in Georgia or whether I lived in Florida. You understand? So I just wanted to, you know, make that clear. That's what I wanted to make this video about. I have notes written down because I don't want to miss nothing. And I like to be honest and I like to be real about things and situations. You know what I'm saying? Even if it points out my failures, my weaknesses, in areas in my life where I need to grow. You know what I'm saying? I am willing to grow and be a better person for myself and for the people around me and for the people that God has assigned to my life for me to be an inspiration and to help others. You feel me? Let me get my paper right here because I did have a couple of notes. But yeah, so I did like I say, I wanted to, you know, make sure I touch on everything because I like to be honest about, you know, what I'm talking about. And looking at, you know, looking back at the story, there were definitely a lot of red flags that I choose to ignore. I think sometimes when you're a person that likes to help people and you kind of have a heart for people, I think that can really be not hindrance, but I think that it can kind of work against you sometimes because by you know, having compassion and wanting to help people, you know, sometimes you do too much or overstep your boundaries trying to help people or trying to even help the wrong people, you know. So throughout this situation, I definitely have learned a lot. Definitely am taking responsibility for my actions. Oh, what I was gonna say is, well, no, come out, give me this. You see, it's time for your nap. Y'all, excuse me, y'all. Come out, boy. Come out. Come here. No, don't try to have a tantrum on me. No, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Listen to me. Listen to me. Look at the camera. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. You know, a lot of people tend to judge you because they just probably can't relate to some of the things that you go through in life. Like, every situation is different. You know, you got some women out there that really go after people's husbands and not care. But I feel like for me, that was not what I was doing. And that's just never was something that I wanted to do. So, but you know, when I believe that I am the generational curse breaker, because when I look at my story, guess what? My daddy was married when he had me. My daddy was married. My daddy had a lot of kids after he was married. And so this did not just start with me. And I have friends that have babies by married men. I have family members that have baby by married men. You understand? And I'm definitely not proud of it. I'm so disappointed in myself for this. Samaj, you gonna get a real spanking at 1 year old. Yep. What's the matter? What? You're sleepy. I'm trying to tell you to take a nap. No, don't try to do that. I'm talking. Okay? Okay? So, for me, I just did not ever think that I would be the one that would fall into that same situation. I tell you, y'all, it's just, I beat myself up so bad about this. Because kids are going to grow up. I guess my parents done passed on. They can't explain to me nothing. I have to figure it out for myself. But, you know, as for me, one day I'm going to have to tell my son this story. Or one day he going to see this story. And he going to want to know how he got here. And if he's still around, he's going to see his dad married to a white lady. And that is like terrible to me, to be honest with you. Y'all don't know how much anxiety that alone brings me. I did not want to have a baby by a married man. I wanted, when I had my next baby, I wanted to be married to my husband. I didn't want nobody else's husband. You understand? And now, you know, we don't know what tomorrow gonna bring. But for now, my son is gonna grow up and see his dad married to a white woman. Honestly, I'm just not happy about that. I'm not happy about that. That breaks my heart that I was irresponsible to allow myself to get involved in this situation, to stay into this situation for 2 years of my life, and then to bring an innocent child in this world with so much craziness going on in the world alone. Then for him to not have a father in the home. And then to grow up and say, okay, well, he needs his dad in his life. He needs to be around his dad. He needs to see his dad. But then when he do see his dad is going to be married to a white woman. Like, what type of foolishness is going on here? You know what I'm saying? So, y'all, parents, we have to do better. We do. We have to do better about the choices that we make. Because the choices that we make can affect a lot of people without us even realizing it. You know what I'm saying? It gives me a lot of anxiety, y'all. Because I did not want to stay in this situation. I wanted to get out so bad. And I will always just be, you know, like, no, this is not, you know, and he would talk me out of it. And he would always talk me out of what I was feeling and what I was afraid of. He would always, you know, try to, you know, make me feel better about it. Like, no, I'm going to get the divorce. Like, you know, we're a team. God put us together. We just getting started, and, you know, little things like that, you know. And then, by me having abandonment issues growing up, you know, because my mom wasn't in my life as a child, which I talked about that in one of my other videos. But by me having abandonment issues, that's why And this, oh my God, it's so much that I feel like this story is just bringing out, because I listened to, well, for the first time, I heard this girl, Love Dorsey. I don't know if y'all ever heard of her, but, you know, and I ain't trying to clout chase, but, you know, you have to learn and grow and do better and be, in order, you know, if you want to be better. But for the first time, I heard her speak about trauma bonds. And sometimes you can be trauma bonding with people and not even realizing it. Bishop R.C. Blakes talk about unhealed trauma. You know, just unhealed trauma. A lot of the things that we settle for and put up with is because we have a lot of unhealed trauma in our lives. And talk about broken consciousness and, just coming from a broken place in a broken state. You know what I'm saying? But when I think about the fact that I have abandonment issues, and then I felt sorry for the little girl of just walking out on her, like, because many a times I was like, man, I just want to get my kids and I just want to move out. I just want to move out. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with it because her behavior was bad. My kids wasn't happy. They found a way to, get through it and, find some happiness throughout the situation. But, they were complaining about certain things that she was doing. They was complaining. And I've never wanted to put them in an uncomfortable, situation that was going to cause them to not be happy, which I did, I did. And it's a lot, y'all. But like I say, I felt bad about walking out on her, being that I was able to witness the neglect that she was dealing with. This little girl wasn't brushing her teeth. I'm gonna just be honest. The child wasn't being properly taken care of by apparently the dad and the stepmom. Okay. And she just really didn't have that solid foundation, She not, by her being, she was special needs, but she also had her period. She didn't even know how to properly care for her period, She will put used sanitary napkins in her book bag. She didn't know how to wrap up her pads, and she wasn't taught these basic things. And by me being a mother of girls, I was helping her, like really teaching her and really trying to show her that love, despite the fact that she was being disrespectful to me every day. So what I was saying is, I just really felt bad. On top of the fact of him trying to convince me that he would say, don't get weary in well doing, honey. Use the word of God. To use God's words. Don't get weary in well doing. Like, little things like that from the Bible. And I will feel bad about, like, dang, I feel like this is an assignment. Maybe God do got me here, trying to help this little girl and stuff like that. So that caused me not to leave, y'all. That caused me really not to walk out and leave her. Trauma bonding. Having abandonment issues. Feeling guilty, feeling like, oh, am I being selfish? And I'm feeling like, if I'm being selfish for, not caring. Oh, well, if I would have just had that type of attitude, oh, well, I don't care, child. That's on them, honey. They ain't my daughter. I don't care what they going through. They ain't got nothing to do with me, child. Let me get my kids and let me get on down the road. You know what I'm saying? So instead of me having that type of attitude and heart towards the situation, I was just like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. I'ma just hang on in there and just, and just go through with it. And I believed him. I believed him. And I continue to help him and help her at the same time. But anyways, y'all, I ain't gonna make this video too long. I just wanted to come in here and elaborate on some of the points that I was talking on in my previous videos, so that, you know, people can get a better understanding of, you know, why, you know, I made certain choices that I made. I tell you, life is a learning process. I remember I made a video saying that, you know, and I know that I don't have the worst story, but it really took courage for me to really tell this story. Because even at times I feel ashamed of my baby. As beautiful and precious as he is, sometimes I feel ashamed of my baby, ashamed of having him. You know, it's the most bitterest sweet pregnancy I've ever experienced in my life. Like, I have never experienced such a beautiful gift that came from so much pain. But I thank you all for coming to my YouTube. Make sure you like this video, comment, and definitely hit that subscribe button, as I will be sharing more things about myself, my stories, the things that I go through, and the things that I grow through. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.